Good day to you, YouTube. I'm actually doing the other half of my question and answer video because I started rambling a little too long on that last one, so I had to cut it a little short. But I'm super excited because I have a few more questions now. Actually quite a few more questions, but I'm gonna try not to read them all. I'm gonna try to get through them all, but some of them are slightly similar, so I'll try to cover them all in one box. So I actually have a pretty interesting one, and this is actually from a friend of mine, and she's quite the character sometimes. So I'm gonna do this one first because it's kind of random and it's a good way to start this off, I feel. It says, if you were on a stranded raft after a plane crash with a businessman, a child, and the parents and myself, how long do you think you could keep the people from resorting to cannibalism? I guess it kind of depends on how good we are on catching food. I don't know. I couldn't ever imagine eating somebody. However, if somebody just died, I guess I could eat them. I don't know. That's kind of creepy. But, I'm not a very persuasive person. I probably couldn't keep them from eating each other if they wanted to. As long as I'm not getting eaten, I might be okay, although I might be a little crazy after seeing all that. And as long as we don't eat the kid, I'd probably try to save myself and the kid, if anything. Might eat the businessman first. Feel like that's the best decision. But anywho, yeah, that's kind of an odd question, but I figured it was one of the best ones I've gotten that isn't what's your favorite color? Which is purple, by the way. And my second one's black. So let's do a different one. If I could be any tree, what kind would I be and why? I really like trees, so that's actually a really good question. It's probably the only thing I can draw, and I can't draw very well. If you know me, you know that, and if you don't, you don't. If I were going to pick a tree, I would probably pick a weeping willow. They're my favorite tree, and I feel like they're really elegant and kind of beautiful, but you can use them to harm people. I know that's so weird to say, but hear me out. If back in the day, your parents said, "You've been bad, you have to go get a switch off the willow tree," the kids were scared. And that means it's a beautiful and elegant tree, and it hangs near the water usually, and it just kind of flows with the breeze, and it's all kinds of fun stuff. But if a parent is mad, they can use you to really put some pain on. And I feel like I could do that. I'm a really sweet person, and I'm really, gentle, and I don't do a lot of whooping. I'm not an angry person a lot of the times. I'm very relaxed and sweet-natured. But if you really get me upset about something or on a topic that I'm very strongly opinionated on, watch out. So I think a willow tree would probably be my best bet. Those were my Facebook questions, actually. That means I actually know those people, so I appreciate that they gave me some questions that were kind of out of the ordinary and made it kind of easier to do. So I have some. Let's go over to Tumblr, because, I have a lot more people on Tumblr that pay attention to me than any of my other social medias, including my Facebook, which is friends and family, and that's kind of sad, but that's just how that works. So let's see what we have on Tumblr. Oh, well, I've seen you have dogs. What are their names? If you follow me on any of my media sites, you will know that I have 2 dogs. They are huskies. I have one little bitty one named Ratchet. My fiance named that one because of Ratchet and Clank, and then also the mixture of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is an awesome movie. But those character names influence the name of the dog, not because he's a ratchet dog. I mean, honestly, I'm getting too old to know some of this slang, and I don't quite understand why people call people ratchet, but that's okay, because I'm getting old. Anywho, and the other one is Shadow, and he is also a husky. He's my older husky. He is black and white. Ratchet is red and white, and they are little brothers, and they're part of my little family, and I really enjoy having huskies. I've always enjoyed having huskies. It's something that's run in my family. We always have a bunch of huskies in the family. Like, I had them when I was little, and like, we're kind of a dog family anyway. I love cats. Cats are like awesome. However, I'm slightly allergic. My fiance is extremely allergic, so I can't have cats, and it makes me so sad that I can't have cats. You have no idea. I love cats. Not to turn into a crazy cat lady, but I do love cats. But I love my huskies too, and they're like my favorite dog. I love wolves, so yeah. Oh, the next question on my Tumblr was, what's your favorite animal? I like wolves, and I like dogs, and I like cats, and I like foxes, and I like a lot of animals. I'm not big on snakes or reptiles in general. That's just me, though. They just kind of creep me out a little bit. It's nothing against snakes or snake people, because I have snake friends. What else do we got here? What is your biggest rebellion against authority, and why did you do it? I'm kind of a goody-goody. I don't rebel against authority very often. So, I guess my biggest rebellion against authority would be loitering where it says not to loiter. Honestly, I don't do a lot of that. Like, I don't do a lot of bad things. I accidentally doing copyright walls, maybe? I don't know. I don't purposely. That's a bad question, Tumblr people. Quit it. Let's go to the next one. Do I have a tendency to hoard anything? And if so, what? I hoard a lot of things. I don't know if it's really hoarding, because I will get rid of it eventually, but I come across things and I'm like, oh, I can use that somehow. I'll figure it out. I'll get on Pinterest or something and I'll figure out how to use that. And then it just kind of gets up in the air, and then like a year later I'm like, why did I save that? Like, I never did anything with it, and I throw it away. So random things. I do hoard random things. I did a what's in my bag, and it kind of showed you that I have a lot of random stuff in my bag, and that's kind of how my house looks. What person, place, or thing have you ever wanted to destroy? Again, I'm not a super violent person. I have been wronged in my life, but I don't think I've ever wanted to destroy them or anybody or anything. I'd like to destroy some of society's views on certain people and groups, that kind of thing, but I don't think that that's what the question really meant. So let's go on to the next one. And if I think of something, I will come back to it. I promise. How about, do you gossip? Well, I don't like to consider myself a big gossip, but did you hear? No, I do gossip a little bit. I work with all women right now. There are no men in my place of work, so it's hard to stay out of gossip. And being a quiet and kind person, people will say things with me standing right there. They don't care. People tell me things. People just don't care if I'm there or not. So I get a lot of juicy gossip, and a lot of the times my gossiping usually comes down to telling either my best friend at work, which I don't know if that counts as gossip because she doesn't tell anybody besides me things and vice versa. So it probably does, but it's not like, oh, did you hear? And then, oh, did you hear? And then, oh, did you hear? No. Or I just come home and tell Paul. I just come home and tell him everything because I'm like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, but I don't want to be a bad person. So I gossip a little, but not trying to hurt no one's feelings. Okay, let's pick a different one. These are some pretty good ones. Have you ever falsely accused someone of doing something? No. If I falsely accuse someone, I didn't know I was falsely accusing them. We'll go with that, because I don't think I know anything otherwise. What do you believe lies in the unexplored areas of the ocean? Mermaids. Mermaids. How often do you argue with others? It depends on the person. I really don't argue with people I don't know. I am not a conflict person. I run from conflict. I am not someone who tries to start fights. But if you're my best friend or my fiance and you say something I don't like or I don't agree with, I let you know. So I would say how often, it really depends on who you are. I argue with Paul probably once a day. That's on the heavy side. It really depends on the day. And what he's talking about. Like, he's very open about what he feels too, and sometimes we disagree and we butt heads. But that's Capricorn for you. Out of all the lies you have ever told, which is your favorite? All the lies I've ever told. Does that mean I had to get away with it? My favorite lie I've ever told. That's hard. I mean, I don't lie a lot. A lot of little bitty white lies, probably. Like my weight on my driver's license. But I think my favorite lie I've ever told. I knew how to do a back handspring, and they didn't make me prove it. That happened once. I said, oh, I was in cheerleading, and it wasn't completely a lie because I was learning how to do one when I quit, but I hadn't ever completed one. So, but I said, I used to do those back in the day, and they believed me, so. And it's not a complete lie. I had help, but What about, if you could travel by wind, where would you go? If I could travel by wind, where would I go? I would go wherever the heck I wanted. Right now I would go up to the Bristol Renaissance Fair because that's where my best friend of all times is, and she's working there, and I miss her. And we never get to see each other. But otherwise, I would travel everywhere. I'd go visit places that I never thought I would. So, yeah, there's that. I really feel like that would be, yeah, I would go to France. France would be my first, big place to go. Alright, so, next question. Do I have a crush on anyone? Well, you see, I am engaged, but I guess kind of crush happens. I mean, I have a couple Tumblr crushes, based on usernames, and I have a couple YouTube crushes, but I'm not, gushing over anybody in particular, so I don't think that counts, unless you count my fiance. This is my romantic or sexual orientation, and that's kind of, I did say no, that they could ask whatever. I am, for the most part, straight. I am attracted to ladies, but I don't really want to sleep with them. Maybe kiss them and hold their hands. But who doesn't? I mean, ladies are very attractive. But I love my fiance. So I would say bisexual, but it might piss people off. So that's where we are. 23-year-old, and I don't really know what to say without offending people, and I try not to do that. 4 things that I would like to do. That depends on the day. Like today, I would like to go take a nap, eat a good dinner, and go to the fair. Oh, that's only 3. And go see a movie. But those aren't like life goals. But it doesn't say life goals. This is 4 things you'd like to do. And those are 4 things I would like to do right now. You know, a lot of these are the same questions. I already answered what my favorite color was. Purple, right? And black? I think I answered that. I have 2 dogs. I do not have kids. It says, do you have kids? I do not have kids. I take care of kids and I want kids. But I'm working on a wedding right now. And I don't want to be pregnant before my wedding. If it happens, it happens. But I have come this far without it. So I would be pretty kind of disappointed with myself. Let's move on. I do love kids, though. I would love to have one soon. Like, as soon as the wedding's over. But, you know, how about this one? Do you like being spanked? Woo, naughty question. Yes, a little. Not like whips, like, but you know, yeah, it's always fun to do. Oh, got a new Instagram question. That's always fun. What color is your real hair? That makes sense for Instagram. I have a brown hair color that has a little bit of red to it, but you can't really tell when I have my own red. Like right here are my roots, and right now it looks like black. But trust me on this, I have a little bit of red in my hair. A little bit. I like to keep the red extremely bright, so I do dye my hair a lot. And this summer I went and did something crazy and did ombre, so I have blonde in my hair, and it was really nuts for me because I normally don't do anything besides red. Sometimes go really dark brown. But my hair color is auburn on like my birth certificate. So yeah. And then another one on here says, what color are your eyes? And I don't know how to answer that because it's just not easy to answer that. I have blue eyes, green eyes, both gray eyes. More often than not, they're blue. But there are days where if I tell someone I have blue eyes, they'd be like, who are you trying to get? So that's how that goes. Your opinion on war. It's a necessary evil. I feel like if we don't have war, we wouldn't expand. But I don't like to lose people. I don't like to talk about war very often. I do feel like it's a necessary evil. I feel like a lot of wars are not necessary. So, but I do understand the need for them in certain places and certain times. Back in the day, there were a lot less pointless wars. Well, big ones at least. I'm sure some farmer probably fought some other farmer over land and that kind of stuff. But I feel like we as humans fight a little too often sometimes. I'm only going to answer a few more because we're getting really close to times on this one. 3 fears. Alright, 3 fears. To get real for just a minute, I'm afraid I'm gonna find out for some reason that I'm not able to have kids. And that is like one of my biggest fears ever. I have always wanted to grow up to be a mom. And when I finally start trying to have kids, I find out that I can't have any, like, naturally, I will be heartbroken. I have a really deep fear of that. I'm also really afraid of dying, and I feel like that's a normal fear for people, but if you know me, it sounds really weird, especially if you knew me 5+ years ago. So it's just a lot of uncertainty with those kind of things, and I got into a car wreck it'll be 2 years in November, and it scared me a lot. So I'm really, I'm not really okay with talking about that one very long. That's a whole nother video, I guess. And a third fear. Those two fears are like my biggest fears ever. I don't share that with a lot of people, and now I've shared it with the world, so bear with me on that. My other biggest fear is, like, being alone. I feel like these are really basic fears, like, that a lot of people have, but being alone in a crowded room. That, not just being alone, but feeling alone. I suffer from some problems, though. It's being alone, dying, and not being able to have children. Those are my 3 biggest fears. The last text I sent, let's make that my last one. My last text that I sent was to Paul, and it was ugh. Because I have to be making choices today, and I do not make choices. I hate making choices. I hate making decisions. Like, he's like, where do you want to go? And I'm like, I don't know. You don't have any opinion on it. Nope, not at all. Please just choose for me. Do you want to do this tonight? I don't really care. You choose. It's just one of those things, I guess. I just don't make choices. I hate making choices. I'm not a leader. Nobody does that for me. They're like, you can make choices. You make the greatest choices. And I'm like, I hate making choices. I like that Paul steps up and makes choices for me, and then when he asks me to do it, I send him texts because I hate doing it. I think I used to have to make too many choices with some of my friends and, like, past relationships and stuff, and I make choices all day long for other children and what they should and shouldn't do and what I need to do for this class and what do I need to do, what do I need to teach them, where are they at developmentally, what should I focus on to help them, and I make choices after choices after choices all day long, and I hate making choices. So the last text I sent was an ugh, with like 5 U's, so is a long and exasperated ugh, because I just can't deal. I don't do choices. So this video was longer, but I feel like I got more questions in. If you liked my video, or if you have some of the same fears, or you want to share some of your fears, that'd be great. Comment below. Like my videos so I know that people are actually watching it. I keep posting them to my Tumblr page, and people tell me they watch it, and I haven't even looked at the views, so that'll be awesome if you are. The Tumblr people on my followers, I know that came out super weird, but my followers, I really appreciate all your questions and, like, your advice, and the people on Tumblr probably know me better than some of my friends and family on Facebook. It's why when I posted, hey, ask me questions for a video, someone were like, what? Yeah, some of them don't know what I'm talking about, so it's like, oh, it's not for you, please, I don't want to tell everything. I want to describe everything. So that's what we do, is we just ignore family and then make friends on the internet, because that's what we were told not to do. That's my biggest authority thing. My mom and dad used to be like, don't tell anybody personal information on the internet, and then look at what I'm doing right now. Q&A video. You know some stuff about me that they probably don't even know about me myself. Yeah, I was that kid. Back to like the very first question. What thing that you've done, authority, blah, blah, blah. Talking to people on the internet. It's gotten me into a lot of trouble. I probably shouldn't say that, because then it will get me into a lot of trouble. So, like I said, thank you for watching these. These are super long. You probably hate me, because if you're like me, you're watching the video and then you're like, I want to know, but this is so long. It's so boring. But that was kind of funny, and I totally get it. And I'm rambling on again, and that's what you get with me. So I'm going to click this button and stop the video. But if you liked it, let me know. Comments, send me messages on Tumblr, Snapchat, Instagram. I'll put all that information in the description. So enjoy your day, lovelies.